So, how are you feeling today?
But now it doesn't feel like a conversation because we talked for 45 minutes. It'd be bizarre to, in the middle of a conversation, be like, so, how are you feel? You know what I mean? But to answer your question, you're suddenly nervous.
Why is that?
Because we're starting. Yeah, I saw you hit record, and now this is all going on onto YouTube.
You know, it'll be curated, if that makes you feel any better.
I hope you keep this part.
Yeah, I might.
And I hope you delete everything else.
So, what I wanted to ask about today was, where do you feel like you're at right now in your life?
Where do I? Well, I'm 34, and there's so much more. To quote Neil Young, who's old now, ironically. Where do I feel like I'm at in my life?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty loaded question, but I feel like I just finished the movie Floaters, and I just stopped doing open mic comedy, and I'm trying to grow a career, and it's real honest work. So it's like real. But I don't feel like I have a career. So that's on my mind. But yeah, I don't know, where do I feel like I'm at? Yeah, I feel like that's where I'm at. It's sort of nowhere still. Mm-hmm. I received an inheritance from my dead dad. Mm-hmm. So that's like another. That's like an informative piece of my juncture, mm-hmm. economically, because I don't have to work. So this creates like a sense of suspension, and sort of like being like deprived of any pressure. If that's not a complaint, it's a brag. Mm-hmm. No, it's not a brag, but it's, you know what I mean? It's sort of like a weird feeling too, so yeah.
Maybe some guilt associated with it, or?
Some guilt, yeah, I guess there's like a little bit of shame and guilt and stuff, like being completely removed from like any kind of like real pressure or stuff. It's just sort of, yeah, there's like a little bit of like, what am I, you know, I'm very lucky, but at the same time very like, I feel kind of like foolish, I suppose, for being like, anytime I feel lost or depressed or anything, I'm like, you know, I shouldn't. So yeah, it's a sort of a weird trip, but yeah. So yeah, that's it.
What do you find yourself thinking about and choosing now that you have the freedom?
Christian, right now I'm just do a palate cleanser, like a fun project. Would be me and two friends I think maybe are going to be mentally R-worded triplets, like Siamese triplets. And we're also afraid of black people. That's the log line.
What are you trying to say with that, do you think?
I mean, I don't know if we're trying to say anything, but I feel like it's interesting because it sort of gets into. I mean, it seems like compelling to me because there's like, you know, I think there's like some ugly truth, cartoonish truth in there that would be interesting to delve into. You know, I think it's racist, but also I think it's like it'd be racist not to do it, to just to be like, what if I didn't explore this? Wouldn't that be fucked up? You know what I mean? What if I made a movie about like softball or something terrible? That'd be what a shame that would be.
It does seem like there's kind of an overarching aesthetic, I would say, though, of maybe absurdity or trying to almost offend the viewer, would you say?
Defend the what?
Offend. Like,
offend?
Yeah, or be provocative or kind of bring things up that other people might not want to talk about or see.
Where? When? What?
You know what I mean? Like with like the concept of like the short film you're just talking about.
Oh yeah, that
Or
one?
like the stand up. It seems like you kind of like bringing things up, to kind of confront people with it.
Well, the idea that I'm suggesting here about the three mentally handicapped Siamese twins who are afraid of black people, that I guess there is that seemed to be sort of like ooh, like it does have like a little bit of, but that's also something that's like I don't know, that seems like pretty relevant.
How so, would you say?
I do keep thinking of like race. So I don't know if that makes me like a good person or a great person, but race is something that's like that like I'm thinking about. So I'm not doing it. I mean, this movie, if I were to, like, I wouldn't make it to be like some sort of edgelord. I'd make it because like it'd feel nice to like express myself. I feel like it's been so long since I like made something that that would be like a nice, true self-expression. But maybe it's wrong. But whatever.
Well, what do you think you're trying to say about race?
With this movie I haven't made?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I haven't really, beyond just talking to you about it and a few other people, I haven't really started it yet. So I don't know what there is to say. But it'd be about these guys who are like just like whimperingly afraid of like people who don't look like them. Like whimperingly, childishly, like afraid to look at people who don't look exactly like them. And I feel like there's something that seems like worth a good honest effort.
What's the brainstorming process like for you?
Well, to just talk it out, I guess, a little bit with people like yourself here, and draw some pictures. Maybe we'll try to write stuff down. I don't know. I've never really plotted out a movie idea. For Floaters, it was like three of us all working on it together. But I've never solo come up with anything. So this is a new thing. Yeah.
How did that process work with Floaters?
We all just got stoned and talked and thought about what would be funny, and then we immediately took what was a funny light idea and made it very like serious, arduous work. Pillaged our little flower, trying to make it into a steel plant.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, taking a beautiful green flower and trying to make it into a steel plant. That's what it felt like.
How so?
It was just like a lot of work and like it was just like a lot of like tension and it was kind of ugly. I think we'd all agree. The other two guys aren't here, but at times it became very stressful and sort of like the spirit of it became sort of kind of ugly.
Did it turn out somewhat like what you imagined it would?
No, it turned out. I don't know. I didn't know. Yeah, I think it. I mean, it turned out in its own way. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I am. I like it, but it just. I don't know if we. I don't know if I. I don't know. I don't know if we had an exact idea of how it should turn out, but it's the script. I mean, we made the thing that we wrote, so yeah.
I'm trying to get at like where you go to come up with ideas mentally. You know, like, do you surround yourself with a certain aesthetic and style and then kind of like move in that direction?
Honestly, there's a place I like to come up with ideas, and there's an overpass right over a freeway.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Ocean Parkway. If you go up to this overpass, you can just watch at about 4:30 to 6. It gets really bumper to bumper. Everybody's commuting back into the city, and if you just write down license plates, you get like a whole amalgam of like different letters and numbers. And if you there's a anagram solver that you can plug those numbers into to get all those numbers into letters. And so then you just end up with like a huge spilling crossword it's like just a wall of text that doesn't make any sense. But if you look vertically and horizontally and diagonally, you can find different words. And from there, you can pluck and choose different ideas. And honestly, like with this retarded race idea, those were words that I found from the anagram solver, retarded and race. They actually came out of the same. It didn't exactly like the letters were a little jumbled, but it kind of said, you could read retarded and race. So it looked like retarded and race. So I felt like since they were coming out of the same R, that was like, okay, well, what if there's something to this? So every man or woman has their fishing spot. It's a place to put your pole and catch the big one. Catching the big one with David Lynch. But yeah.
So you're saying like you just embrace chaos?
Well, yeah. I mean, it sort of like a it sort of jump starts the creative process. Like here's a couple ideas for you. You guys think about stuff in a new way, you know.
It seems like either you don't want to say that you think about meaning or intention, or you really genuinely like to just embrace absurdity.
I'm not lying to you.
Because I feel like you do have a certain amount of like being on or being like having a persona.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now to try to, since this isn't going to YouTube, I figured to like, maybe like up my clickability if it was like, if someone's watching, it's like, oh, this guy's interesting. Like, like, look at this. Who is this? You know? Maybe I'll find his, can you link to my Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter, but I can put the Twitter handle in the video description.
That'll have to do.
There could be like 20 views, 30 views.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
And if I could just get like 2 followers off of this. Well, what I'm trying to say is that I would like to, yeah, I mean, if a guy is on, then he's trying to do something, he's trying to give back here. If a guy's on, he's trying to, I mean, I'm a Gemini. You are not. No, you're a Capricorn.
Yeah.
So.
I do know.
I'm telling you, man. So, you know, there's a couple, you know, you know, I'm just trying to be, so it's not boring, you know what I mean? Otherwise I'd be like, oh my God. But what about the meaning thing, it's like, what are you, how could you, like, that'd be as absurd if I were to go like, Christian, like you're making these interviews, like, what's the meaning? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think you have any, first of all, what is the meaning to anything? But also, like, what is do you feel like there's meaning to this? That you'd be able to discern?
I guess I set out with parameters.
Okay.
You know, like when I was thinking about it, I was like, it could be conversations about people's creative process.
Yeah.
You know, as a framework, and then see where it goes from there. And it can go, like, everyone has a different way of talking about it. Some people are very like, this is my intention, this is what I'm trying to achieve.
Oh, okay.
Some people are much more, I just follow my intuition, I do whatever I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think I'm like, people might enjoy hearing what different people's processes are.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it's like absurdity is the process.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
well, I'm not trying to be difficult or be like a stuck shit. I'm trying to be easy flowing out. I'm trying to be open, but I do feel like so I could tell you this, like, so for Floaters, I'll tell you, man, the intention for real was to, and this is my fault, for me, the intention was like, let's make a good movie. And my idea of good was like, what we were talking about earlier, like that, like a film school polish thing and some stuff like that, like trying to make it look, ooh. So, you know, that's maybe not the most important thing. And I'm not saying that the movie's lacking or anything, but that was maybe not something I'm going to chase again, like a certain kind of like veneer, because it's just a veneer. So with this retarded racist movie, it'd be nice to do something that would be exciting, something that would be like, oh my God, like this is something that's like sort of like on my mind, or something that's like might be interesting to other people. And also to have fun, like it seems like a kind of a fun idea with the right people, of course. This could be like a really kind of interesting thing to make. So yeah, I think that the intention would just literally just to be like, have fun, turn something around quicker than 7 years, and do something that I'm thinking about. Yeah. I didn't mean to bark at you. I don't mean to scream at you, but
I don't care yet. This is what I want to.
This is what you want.
I want to hear. You know,
Okay.
like what you're thinking, what you're. Maybe there is no process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it literally is like a jumble.
It is a bit of a jumble because I don't like I don't know my own process, and I'm wearing fur, so it's hard to like be able to know like this is the way I do it, because I don't know how to do it, and it's to a certain extent embarrassing. You know what I mean? You ask a man like, how do you fix a car, and if he's wearing a auto mechanic jumpsuit, he should have an answer. So it's like if you're asking like, how do you make a thing, I don't really know, but maybe that's evident in the work.
Do you think certain things just you're almost desensitized to now?
No, I just think I'm honestly I'm honestly, let's say, I'm a little depressed and a little I think I'm a little bit like this floaters thing really kind of, you know what I had is like all these expectations that the thing would like sort of, I had like big dreams here. In my dumb brain, I was like, I'm gonna make a movie, I'm gonna drop it like a big bomb, everyone's gonna love it and stuff. And it's just sort of humbly, it's out there, but it's just sitting there.
Hasn't gone viral or anything?
Nothing even like that. And it got into one film festival, and the dude was like super nice, and they gave us like a trophy, and it actually felt really good. Sick and Wrong Festival, which it was like really like it felt really flattering, but yeah, man, it didn't have any other sort of, it didn't get anywhere. We submitted to like the Tennessee film festivals I've never heard of, just to try to get it in anywhere, and didn't get it anywhere. So that actually has left a dent in me. To honestly answer your question, I've been a little bit under the weather, emotionally. So take it easy on me here, all right?
I'm trying.
Okay. Brings into question the whole. It's like, don't you make things for other people? You know what I mean? You make something so that other people can sort of enjoy it, and when they don't, in unison, you feel that. So, that's the game.
So I'm catching you at like a real like low point right now.
Yeah. It's a bit of a low point, yeah. But I'm fine. I think that's what I'm saying. Like with this crater thing, like this is what was under here. Like a lot of like just stuff like other people's acceptance, yeah, and like maybe my own loneliness or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's sort of a goofy time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the facade has been torn away, and you're like left to see what's beneath it all.
No, the facade is not torn away. I mean, this was I don't, but I'm not trying to be it's all okay, douche. I'm not trying to be a facade guy. I mean, do you feel like
No,
I mean, whatever.
What I mean by the facade is when you're talking about the crater, that made me think of like, this topsoil is gone. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that was keeping you going.
Yeah, totally.
Is kind of all taken away, and now you're like down in the depths.
Now I'm just like, what the fuck? Exactly, man. Like I was keeping myself busy with the shit, with the floaters, and then it's like, because you take every negative thought and you go, well, once floaters is done, Mad Lib in whatever feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like you have any negative thought, you're like, well, I don't think so, because once this happens, X, Y, and Z. But once that does happen and it's actually QRS or just fucking Q, it's like, what the fuck? So, exactly. You're right. I didn't mean to bark at you. Like,
it's all right.
You're just faced with like whatever the fuck you were avoiding in the first place. So yeah, and I'm happy that it's just sitting there online for anyone to see it. It's on floaters.com. But it's the fact that it didn't get into any of these funky ass film festivals really broke my balls. That was really like, what the fuck? Because it's I guess a little long, but it's like,
what better does Tennessee Film Festival have, you know?
That's really what it comes down to. That's my thought. So, and maybe I'm gross for thinking like that, but it's like, it's just ego bruising and stuff. But who cares? But I do.
Yeah, I think you have to give yourself, legitimize what you're feeling, because if you keep shooting yourself down.
The feeling is like I have a weird haircut that I can't see, and you got to walk around and be like, why is everyone? What happened? You know what I mean? Walking out of a barber and being like, what's on my head? That's how I feel right now. I can't really figure out what. Like, I'm maybe too close to it to really understand what I'm missing here, but I swear to God, I'm missing something. There's something on my fucking head. Sorry, I don't mean to be such a downer, man, but...
It's okay. I mean, even seeing a snapshot of someone going through this type of thing, I think it's common for people who pursue art.
Yeah, it's very common, man. Yeah, rejection's super common. I didn't, yeah. I'll tell you why. I'm not trying to be hard on myself, but I am trying to not repeat this again. And I do want to make movies again, so it's like, I'm just trying to like make sure I don't put myself in a position to feel like this again, to feel like rejected. I mean, I'm down with being rejected, but like, that's why I kind of want to make Racist Retards. Because like, at least let me get rejected over Racist Retards. You know what I mean? Like, over something where someone could go like, well, we're not going to play this.
I feel like when I hear that concept, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, it's a critique of people who are afraid of people that are different from them.
Okay.
Is that something you're thinking about with that concept, or you're just, because it almost seems like you're kind of being a little coy, like, I never even thought about what it could mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's coming from somewhere.
It is coming from, I'm not trying to be coy. I feel like if you talk about the shit, like what it's supposed to mean, somebody once, like, let me address that. Like, if you talk about what it's supposed to mean, I feel like you're already kind of like goofy. Like, it's kind of, it's like having a child be like, she's going to be a doctor while you're pushing her out. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it means something, like maybe, but like, I'm not trying to make a critique, and I'm not trying to have a message, but I am trying to play with like the subject of like people who are afraid of people who don't look like them. White people, specifically, these three, who are afraid of black people as a race. It just seems like a compelling thing to about these like three mentally flawed, in many ways, Siamese triplets. So yeah, I'm not trying to like come up with like what I'd like to say before. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of, I wouldn't want to watch a movie where that was like a piece to push a message. I don't know. But then again, I make movies that don't get into film festival. But that's the thing too. Is like I feel like what do I know? I'm just I'm just gonna But so yeah. I don't think I'm not being coy, Christian. I'm not thinking something I'm not telling you. I'm honestly I don't. Yeah, and this is also just an idea. I've told you, my girlfriend, and a couple people I'd like to make it with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess to me, I wonder sometimes when you're dealing with like offensive content, it's kind of dangerous, in some ways. So it's like, to me, it's like you kind of need to have some intent. Otherwise, you're kind of just playing with fire a little bit.
I think I know what you mean, but isn't now when you say offensive content, it's like people get offended by different stuff, and the more I think about it, the more it offends me not to make stuff that's about stuff that's really going on. An example, like to make a movie about softball, to make a movie that's about like don't you get offended watching shit where you're like, this is supposed to be palatable, supposed to be relatable? Like, do you watch Netflix original content?
Yeah, some of it.
It's like a lot of that stuff is like
formulaic.
Yeah, and it really actually is like, it's really offensive just on a human level of like how dare you believe that like this, we're supposed to think this town exists. I think I intuitively understand like what you're saying, but like I don't think that this is like playing with fire. Yeah. And I don't think that it needs like to be safeguarded so no one's offended, because you never know what's going to offend people, and the shit that I'm offended by is shit that I think is like supposed to not be offensive, that is actually becomes more offensive. Like the way they push identities into some of these Netflix shits is like deeply, deeply disturbing. And in many ways, in my opinion, marginalizing. I don't think I'm bigoted, but if I am, I should find out. And I should burn my eyebrows off in the process. And this will be that. And but at the same time, I'm not trying to like be willy-nilly with other people's sensitivities, especially as a white man. So, straight, by the way. I am not trying to be like insensitive and stuff, but at the same time, like I think this can be talked about and explored, and I think I'd like to, and I don't think it would make the world a worse place if I did. I think it would be. I think it's coming from a good place of like trying to like unearth. Yeah, like why do white people? Why are they afraid of black people? Like, and I'm not saying white people as a whole are afraid of black people, but like I was raised to be. So I'll just make it personal. Like I was raised to be to fear black people. So it's like I would like to get into that a little bit, I guess, in this sort of cartoon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like there's a right way to do it. Like you said, there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. And I know what you mean by that, but I also don't fear that I'm a harmful person, but at the same time I'm not gonna. I don't think it's helpful to all the time not try to be harmful, because people sense that on you, and the more you do that, the phonier you are. Like, it's like you've heard that like white people are very phony. We're like, we don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like you've heard that before, like how we're kind of like afraid to talk about certain things, but we're not afraid to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like that thinking is more of that kind of shit. Performance of like, I voted for Biden because of his running mate Kamala Harris. There's a lot of, you know, we're very proud of ourselves for no reason, and I not we, you and I, but like, just me, I don't know who I'm speaking for, but like, I think that there is enough safeguarding and not enough intuiting and just, you know, whatever. It's been a very culturally fearful time, but I say this as a, you know, as a guy wearing chinchilla, beige chinchilla. Mm-hmm. So take that with a big grain of pepper.
I think it's good to be thinking about, because I think it's worse to just pretend like it doesn't exist, or.
That's how I feel. Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, hold it, drag it to the right. I heart that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's better to not be silent. Maybe.